Well, let's now put the spotlight on the pharma space. And as we do that, I'm just quickly taking stock of the Nifty in the pre-open as well. Pre-open's just started, so let's see. Right now, it's showing a 90-point cut, but it should settle. This is what we have at first glance at this point in time. Some of the stocks where the block action is expected, they're in focus. Agility, for instance, down about 5% in pre-open. The Interglobe and the others will come up as well. Some of the pharma stocks are actually doing very well in the pre-open space. Dr. Reddy's, for instance, about 0.7% higher. Sun Pharma, Cipla. Pharma names are the green space in the market today. So good time to bring in our next guest. Of course, we've had a slew of earnings coming in as well. Aurobindo reported. Sun Pharma came out just a few weeks back. Divi's has signed a pact for a supply of long-term agreement with the global pharma company. So talk about all these developments. Vishal Manchanda, who analyzes this sector at Systematix Group, is with us. Vishal, thanks very much for joining in. Let me start with the broad question first. So the earnings season has been very mixed. I remember Sun Pharma fell quite a bit the day the numbers came, and then it recovered because the US performance was subpar. And the global specialty business also, I think numbers were missing expectations in the fourth quarter, but the commentary seemed to be better. You tell us, what are the key hits for you at the end of Q4?
I think broadly, if I look at the sector, we haven't seen a very large outperformance across companies. Broadly, I think, so what's not gone right for the sector is probably the US piece has not shaped up the way we would have expected during the quarter. India was expected to grow between 8 to 12%. And I think now a significant majority of the companies are on the lower end of the growth range rather than the upper end of the growth range. So I think a very few companies are able to deliver double-digit growth in Indian pharma space. So I think there is a slowdown here in the IPM category. US probably is a bit slow because Revlimid didn't shape up the way we were expecting for the quarter. It's because there is some pricing pressure that's happened on the product. And we know that it's a large contributor to earnings. So overall, I think it's more of the pharma space hasn't done well as per expectations.
Got your point. I'm just going through some of the calls that you have, Vishal. You still have a buy on Sun Pharma. And then you have a hold on lots of stocks in Doco, Zydus Life. I think Mankind is also a hold. Let's talk about the big blue chip pharma names first. You like Sun Pharma? Do you like anything else? What would you advise? What's a buy? Looking at the next 12 months at least.
So I think I would look at Sun and Cipla as structural stories in the sector, while Sun being kind of longer term. There is more visibility around Sun in terms of the medium to long-term growth. And that's largely because of the specialty platform that they've been able to build and kind of differentiate themselves from the other pharma companies in the large cap space. Cipla, probably I prefer Cipla because of the lower US dependence. So they have only 30% of sales coming from the US generics. And we also see a pipeline visibility that's there. So the US earnings probably can still grow from where they are. While for the sector, I think the earnings contribution from the US is on a high base, and probably we'll probably be seeing the earnings from US being either low single digit growth or low single digit decline. And I think I would rather look at a low single digit decline. That's where I am on the.
Got it. Vishal, let's talk about a few other individual names, right? Shilpa Medicare, big run-up lately. Off the lows, there was news flow end of last week. How do you assess prospects for this one and valuations as well?
So I think Shilpa is one company we'll have to kind of, there are so many triggers out there, so many triggers in the form of product launches. And all of these product launches are differentiated. Probably they're the only ones for those products on the market. They are also building a very strong CDMO platform. They have relationship with large innovator companies. They'll soon be initiating commercial supplies for a breakthrough oncology API. I think there are 7 or 8 triggers on the product side, basically, that can kind of transform their earnings and EBITDA trajectory over the next 2-3 years. And I think the longer term growth trigger for Shilpa Medicare is their albumin initiative. So they're developing a recombinant version of albumin, which should shape their growth from FY28 and probably long term growth for the company. Only thing is, execution is something we'll have to wait and watch in the next 2 years, whether commercial execution happens the way we would want it to.
Okay. Another very small company, I don't know if you track it, is Panacea Biotech on the vaccine side.
Right.
Anything happening there? Because there's that hexavalent vaccine, right, which they developed, 6-in-1.
Yes.
And I think Serum was making that vaccine for them. And I think, I don't know if there's been any cutback, because UN, etc., were big buyers of that. At least there was stock of millions of doses which will be required. Anything latest here in that sense?
Yeah. I haven't come across any major development, except that they are also doing a dengue vaccine, and we should see data maybe in the next 1 or 2 years on the dengue vaccine. I think if that clicks, that can be a game changer for Panacea Biotech. And as a company, I think they keep looking at niche opportunities, and I think they have capabilities. They've done things in the past which not many companies have been able to do.
In the small cap, 30-second answer, Vishal. In the small cap pharma space, what are your picks?
So like Orchid Pharma there.
Okay, Orchid. Got that. So next one, we'll focus our conversation on Orchid, Vishal. Thank you very much for joining us. Good speaking with you, and it's a pleasure having you here on CNBC-TV18.